Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI-Talk. Ximen bei mir, Chris Anderson. Wir kennen ihn schon lange, jedes Mal, wenn ich eigentlich da bin. Sie haben eine extrem spannende Story. Also er hat ja mehrere Firmen quasi und jetzt bewegt sich das irrsinnig mit einer schönen Dynamik nach oben langsam, vor allem natürlich auch mit dem Umfeld Gold, Bull Market, neuer Gold Bull Market und da ist er natürlich jetzt auch in der richtigen Area tätig. Conflict of Interest, ich bin Aktionär, das heißt, Sie wissen, was das heißt, aufpassen. Chris, I said in my German introduction, I have a conflict of interest. I'm a shareholder, so at the moment, I think we are in the right area. Not only in the moment, I'm a really strong believer that we are now, in the next 2-3 years, we have a pretty good run in the gold market.
Oh, yeah.
And especially in the precious metals, not only gold, also silver. I think you are in the right area. And but please tell us what's happened since the last interview. I think we've done one in May. Is this possible?
May? Yes. Well, lots has happened, Joe.
Yeah. Then
I'm gonna tell you something because it is a German audience that is going to be seeing the video. So Ximen has been a sponsor of In Gold We Trust. Are you familiar with that report?
Yeah. Yes.
That report has been my Bible, and I've read that over, and I would suggest that your readers take a look at that. That is a phenomenal report, right? And Ximen is a sponsor. We put in 40,000 euros invested in advertising this year with them guys.
Wow. I know Ronnie. I know Ronnie well, and I have an interview with him after the Golden Trust report, so that he can explain what he think is in gold. But the good thing is since the report is coming out, gold really break out.
Yes.
We saw this break of 1380. So now the first leg up to 1550.
Yeah.
Now a little bit of consolidation, but I'm quite sure or confident that we will see end of the year the second leg, then going up much higher.
I actually think we're in the third leg of a gold bull market.
Yeah.
The beginning was in early 2000.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then we saw it in 2011. Okay. And then now we're seeing the third leg, which is usually the more eruptive and parabolic part of a gold bull market, where it goes, the stage is set now where, we could see, like 1970 type returns.
Yeah,
right?
It was funny then. 2015 or 16 are coming up with the client, and we make the terms 2020 in 2020. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure if we reach 2020 next year, but maybe then 21.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So I can wait. This year is okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but coming back to and also maybe we can say it in the beginning is you also intend this year the Edelmetallmesse in Munich.
Yes.
So for everybody they be here, they should go to Munich.
Yes.
And
happy to introduce them to the company and personally.
Perfect.
Yes.
So, but coming back to the company, what's happened?
So last year when we were at Munich, that's when we actually started our marketing on Ximen, right? And we've seen a lot of support come in from the German community, which is fantastic. I really appreciate all the support from all the German investors that have come in and supported the company. We had there was an opportunity for us to acquire a key asset that we'd been pursuing for 4.5 years, right? And because of all the guys we work with, the group that we work with, all the guys that are involved, most of our projects have been brought to us by mining contractors that have worked in southern British Columbia. So the assets that we have assembled in Ximen are assets that have passed the muster with geologists, structural geologists, and with the mining engineers, right? So they've got an opportunity to go into production is really where those things come from. And those assets that we've acquired have brought to us from mining contractors. One of the assets that we've been chasing for a long time is called the Kenville mine, right? It was the first low gold mine ever put into production in BC. For 4.5 years, I've been flying around trying to meet these guys and having meetings with them, discussions, trying to buy it. It was in a private company. And again, I was off to go and meet them in January. And they were asking some terms that were something like they wanted, several millions of dollars for a 60% interest, right? unfortunate for them, but fortunate for Ximen, is the president, who was a very good guy, that was owned by a group of oil gentlemen, right? He passed away when I was about to fly down and meet him. And one of the key shareholders in the company was owed about $2.5 million, and they had a $1 million payment coming up in the beginning of May, right? So him getting to know us well over the years, decided that they would convert their shares into Ximen shares. So we started acquiring their shareholder base, and now we control the Kenville asset, which is owned by a numbered company. And so we own the numbered company and have control over the Kenville gold asset.
How much do you have the control? How many percentage do you have?
We have about 93%.
Oh, 93.
Yeah.
So
and the balance is only because the shareholders, we haven't found them yet. Right?
Okay.
But under BC corporate law, we will be able to convert them over to Ximen shareholders whenever we want. Right?
Okay.
So we run it as a sub company, but it's basically treated as it's 100% ownership of Ximen. So we're funding everything, right? We've assumed the liabilities of the numbered company and acquired that as well. So with that comes 126 acres. So we own the surface rights, we own the underground rights, we own all the buildings. It's fully permitted for a decline. We own our own equipment. It's all brand new stuff, right? So we've got a nice new PowerPoint out that shows all the equipment and everything. It sits in the back of the Minister of Mines' backyard, so it's held to the utmost of scrutiny. And what we're looking at doing is we want to go back. When the other gentleman had it, there was lots of controversy or discussions amongst their group about whether they should ramp up production or do this or do that. We've got a very simple and focused plan. The gentleman that's been running this and been involved in here was the last man to take ore out of the mine in 1992. He did all the drilling in 2009, 10, 11, and 12, and we believe we found the extension of the original Kenville veins, and we're estimating that, if that's the case and what we're looking at, we could have a 15-year mine life is what we're targeting on there, right? What we're looking at is doing 125 ton a day, a half ounce. That's our goal for the next 15 years, right? And we're looking at putting in a decline, which we're permitted for right now. And as we go down the decline, we're going to do a bulk sample, and a 10,000 ton bulk sample, a half ounce. And then as we get to the bulk sample stage, we're training guys. Lloyd Penner, who's our mine manager that's run everything down there. He's trained lots of guys, been in the underground mining business for over 35 years, worked all over, and this has been his pet project. This project is so prime to be the next high-grade underground mine in BC, which is very, very exciting for us. And when we get through the bulk sample, we plan on having all the guys trained up and just simply move into a small mining permit. And our plan is to tackle 125 ton a day, half ounce.
Do you need any permitting to get this small mining permit, or you have?
We do, and so the decline, we've got it permitted now. And what we're doing is we're re-extending that another 5 years. So we're permitted now. We're adding another 5 years to it. So it'll roll over into a new permit. It'll give us an additional 5 years. And as we go through that permit, we'll amend it as we get down to a bulk sample. And then when we get through the bulk sample, we'll amend it to go into a small mining permit. And we've had all our discussions with the department. And so everybody knows what our plans are and what we are planning to do. So the other beautiful thing about it is this is we're powered off of the Kootenay Dam. So from that perspective, we're green, right? So we just tied in with Kootenay Power. We own the transformers and the cable wires on our property too. We just put in the last pole a week and a half ago with the meter on it so we're powered up at the decline. So we can start our decline. We're dropped a CCAN this week, and we're putting in the compressors and everything for our underground air ventilation. So all that's done. We're just waiting for one thing. Originally, what we thought we were going to have to do is they've changed the Water Act in BC, right? So it's become a lot more cumbersome for smaller operations to start because they've presented with a plan that addresses big projects, right?
Yeah.
So fortunately, we own the water rights. And I put out some news about me drinking the water coming right out of the portal, some of the best drinking water right out of BC. Because this project, the rock that it's in is so stable, it's tombstone granite. Since 1888 when it was established, right? Nothing's collapsed. It's still in pristine shape. The water coming out of there is about 100 gallons a minute. It's beautiful drinking water, right? There's no contaminants in there. The only thing you get out of there is dust when you're doing some mining, right? So it flows into the creek, and people are drinking it all the way down through Nelson. So there's been a few bottle watering companies that have come after the company to start a bottle watering operation there. And then there's a few the dam projects in BC have sought the material from the waste rock as backfill for the dam facilities, because it's actually acid neutralizing, right?
Okay.
It's benign. It's great rock. We're going to use the rock all over the site because we want to use it for our roads and for some of our our plans on the site. But that rock has also been sought after by some quarry companies, right? But so you've got completely drinking water that's coming out of the original portal, right? And it's beautiful drinking water. You've got benign rock that's actually acid neutralizing. We've got no contaminants in there. The gold is 65% free gold. You're either in the granite or you're in the quartz, right? And it breaks off quite nice, right? So the project has got a lot of pluses to it. And on top of that, it sits in the Minister of Mines' backyard. I think I mentioned that, right? So we're just going to stick to a simple plan. We're just targeting 125 ton, a half ounce.
But you say you wait now for one this permit.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, so what we thought we were going to have to get the water discharge permit for the department. We were talking to engineers, so everything has to be engineered now. So we've hired Paul Hughes and Associates is one of the top engineering firms. They've done all our engineering work for us. Massey Environmental has done our water baseline studies for us. They're one of the top environmental firms in the province as well that the ministry likes to see. So we've got those two groups behind us. With the water, we thought we were going to have to do settling ponds and have that all engineered, and we thought we were going to be looking at like maybe 8 months, before we get those done. And then we had 3 members of the Department of Environment show up. They took a look at what we were doing. So it looks now like what we'll be able to proceed with is just a pond where we're putting in the decline, the water can settle there. And then we'll pump it over 250 meters to where we already have a current discharge permit, right? And we'll do a blend, right?
Okay.
So we're talking a very simple process, right? And we're waiting for that to be done. I've got a quote already somewhere on the engineering. It's going to be less than 50,000. Right, where we originally were thinking it might be 300 to 500,000. Right now we're looking at much different dynamic.
Okay.
Right, and the timeline is not a year away. It's literally months. Right.
Timeline is a good thing. So or a good point. When you think really you can start with this bulk sample, so that and then the small mining permit. What time frame we're talking about?
So the discharge permit that we're waiting for now, to the approval of what the plan that's coming up with is like literally a month or two. Like we're that close. Upon approval of that, we'll be breaking rock because everything else is permitted. So we'll start our decline. Once we start our decline, there is a forest of high-grade veins that have been drilled off that we plan to drill to go into. When we get about 4 months in, we'll be in a higher concentration of these veins, and that we've chosen that area to be in the middle of all these high-grade veins that we'll choose our bulk sample from.
Okay.
So in about 4 months after we start the decline.
So that's mean it's take say
within
2
6
months. In 2 months it take get the permit, hopefully, and 4 months, so in 6 months. So that's mean around a little bit later after PDEC.
Yeah, a little bit. We hope to be breaking rock like within a little around PDEC to start the bulk sample would be fantastic. That would be a fantastic objective for us, right? And then from there it's about another few months to get through that, and then what we're doing is we're working our way down to what's called the sweet spot, which is the actual what we believe is the extension of the original Kenville veins. The grades down there have improved phenomenally, and the number of veins is like a big forest of veins down there, right? And that's where we want to get to. So we're moving through a whole series of high grade veins down to this one particular area, which we think is going to be a very, very rich zone. And that's already had 4 years of drilling into it, and all that fan drilling has hit multiple veins, all where they were expected to be. And we've built we've got a whole database on all the diamond drilling that's been done on this project from the 1940s up till now. But again, Lloyd oversaw all that drilling. So he drilled 2009, 10, 11, and 12. So that's the area that we're targeting. And then when we get to that spot, we're training our guys. We got a local labor force. We're going to be training all our guys locally. When we get to that spot, we should be up to about 125 tons a day and roll over into the small mine permit. So we're amending this permit to a bulk sample and then amending it to a small mine permit, right? That's our plan. Right?
So after the bulk sample, you try to get a small mine permit. What is the time frame after the bulk sample? What do you think then you can starting to
we're continuing because we're permitted to continue that decline all the way down. We're just picking up a bulk sample as we go. So we will not stop mining. We will continue mining as we go, right?
So that's mean, I would say mid of next year, you are starting the small mining permit.
As soon as we start the bulk sample, we start the application for the small mine permit.
Okay.
And then by the time we get the next 4 or 5 months, as we get down to that phase, we should have the permit in place for the small mine permit and just continue on. Right?
So that's mean, and 125 half ounce material means around 60 ounces a day.
66 ounces, 66 and a half ounces every day on deck.
I'm conservative, I say 60. Okay,
you say 60.
And 30 days a month, so it's mean 1,800 ounces a month.
Correct, yeah.
It's rough. So it's around that you're coming up with 20, 22, 24,000 ounces production per year.
Correct. Yes, and that's the gold is 65% free gold, and 35% we created con, which is like 2 ounces silver, a little bit of zinc, and some copper in there.
Okay.
Right.
The cost should be relatively cheap, very cheap.
We're looking at $900 an ounce, all in, trucking, milling, everything, and that's paying the guys really well.
Okay.
And don't forget, we don't need any capex because we already own all the equipment, the buildings, everything. We own all our underground drills. We're training our own guys, so it's more labor intensive, the process, right? And we have just produced a video about the mining process and Lloyd explaining everything, right? Okay. So I would suggest that your readers take a look at that video, right?
Okay, I will have the link then in the video so that the people can look at it.
And we've got charts in there, shows the vein structure and where we're going and everything we're doing. So it's a good explanation of what we're doing.
So that's mean we are really on the way to production.
Yes, and here's what we plan to do. It's exciting for us as a small junior company to be. I mean, I don't know if you know how many. There's like 4 mines in BC, right? And this is a new high-grade underground mine in the minister's backyard, right? Right in 10 minutes from Nelson, right? The capital, the money that we generate from Kenville, we want to use to drive our big elephant in the company, which is the Brett, right? And the Brett, we've been, as you know, you've been following us for, that was always the big target, right? And now we own it 100%. We bought out the NSR, the convoluted NSR that was there in place. We got all that cleaned up. We've cleaned all that up and we own it 100%. Now we've put applications in on that to do. Prior to getting Kenville, we were working towards going in and doing underground development in there, right? Now we're shifted the focus to get Kenville up and running, and then once we get cash flow from Kenville, our plan is to start working on the Brett. So we want to keep our capex structure as tight as we can. So if we get up to between now and by the time we complete everything, say 70 million shares, right? Then we should be cash flowing. I'm hoping that the cash that we're using would fund the development of what we want to do at Brett. Okay. And then the other assets that we got in the company, we still got other assets that we're getting paid on, right? We get stock and cash. And we've got a couple other assets that we've acquired for 100% stock in the company, right? That we have an opportunity for other joint venture partners to come along, right? Or option partners. We got the Amelia project. Yukon Mining wanted to become shareholders in Ximen, and they were divesting some of their good gold assets in BC. We did a share deal to acquire the Amelia Gold, which was the second producing gold mine in BC. We got the surface and underground rights, all the Crown grants, and then we assembled all the mineral titles around that. We own that 100% in Ximen. That is a fantastic project. We really like it. It's a fantastic project for another junior to take on as a lead asset, right? But we got lots on our plate. But the nice thing is, this is where we've gone, Joe, is while the market has been in a momentum type investing environment where they've been chasing, momentum.
Yeah.
Now I think the market's going to swing into value, right? And Ximen is really built a lot of value, right? That's where we've been focused on acquiring assets and paying them off and owning them. And this is really where I think it's going to pay off. So the next 18 months should be really exciting for the company, right? I think we should do really well.
Chris, thank you for the update. Viele Informationen. Erst einmal vorweg, Sie sind auf der Edelmetallmesse in München und er hat ja auch jeden eingeladen, Sie dort zu besuchen, Fragen zu stellen und dementsprechend auch das Unternehmen kennenzulernen. Das Zweite will ich jetzt einmal so sagen, Sie beschäftigen sich eigentlich jetzt, dass Sie Ihre Mine quasi in Produktion bringen. Das schaut extrem gut aus, weil Sie haben eigentlich alles bis auf eine Wassergenehmigung fehlt Ihnen noch. Es ist das Gesetz im BC ist geändert worden. Wasserrechte müssen auch jetzt die kleinen Minen beantragen. Früher war das anders. Es hat einen Vorfall gegeben und dadurch haben die das ganze Wasserrecht geändert. Das ist natürlich ausgelegt für große Minen, nicht für kleine. Und daher gibt's muss man das jetzt alles mit Studien unterlegen und so weiter und so fort. Sie haben mehrere Firmen organisiert, die das Ganze für sich machen. Es haben die Leute schon vorab das angeschaut. Er spricht mit zusätzlichen Kosten, jetzt momentan glaube ich vor 15.000 oder vor 50.000 Kandollar, was ihm das kosten wird, aber dann ist das erledigt und alle anderen Rechte haben Sie. Sie wollen jetzt ein Decline machen, das heißt eigentlich eine Rampe, sage ich einmal, in das Erzgebiet rein. Sie haben die ganzen Maschinen, Sie haben die ganzen Leute, Sie haben die Bohrgeräte, das heißt, die CapEx-Kosten sind quasi null. Sie haben einfach nur die Arbeiten, die Leute müssen Sie bezahlen. So, und das ist jetzt, wenn Sie den Decline machen, wollen Sie eine Großprobe, ein Bulk Sample, wie das auf Englisch heißt, Großprobe nehmen, 10.000 Tonnen mit ungefähr einem halben Unze, nicht einem halben Gramm, sondern einem halben Unze pro Tonne, also das sind um die 15,5 Gramm, wollen Sie rausnehmen und Sie wollen aber allerdings, wenn Sie anfangen mit der Großprobe, das wird ungefähr um die PDAC-Zeit sein, also im März nächstes Jahres ungefähr, wenn Sie die Probe entnehmen, während Sie diesen Tunnel nach unten quasi machen, in diese mineralisierte Zone rein, werden Sie auch gleich eine Small Mining Permit, also eine Genehmigung für einen kleinen Bergbaubetrieb beantragen und Sie wollen dann 125 Tonnen pro Tag ein halb Unzen Material meinen und zwar, er sagt, haben es genug für die nächsten 15 Jahre. Was heißt das, 125 Tonnen pro Tag? Das sind um die 60 Unzen, 30 Tage im Monat sind das ungefähr 1800 Unzen, was ungefähr 22.000 Unzen im Jahr Produktion bedeutet. All-in-Kosten sollen um die $900 liegen. Die Differenz wollen Sie als Cashflow verwenden für das Bread-Projekt. Das Bread ist der Kuchen, der große Elefant, den Sie quasi erlegen wollen. Und der Cashflow wollen Sie eben nutzen, für diesen Elefanten zu heben. Sie haben den jetzt, auch die Bread-Projekt jetzt 100% unter Kontrolle. Es gibt kein NSR und so weiter mehr drauf, sondern das gehört Ihnen also 100%. Und den Cashflow von der Mine wollen Sie nutzen, um diesen Bread-Projekt voranzutreiben, damit auch die Dilution für uns Aktionäre sehr niedrig ist. Das ist das eine. Das andere ist, Sie haben mehrere Joint Venture mit anderen Firmen noch. Sie haben wunderbare Projekte auch noch. Ich habe leider den Namen jetzt vergessen, was er zuletzt vorgestellt hat. Da sind sie offen für weitere Joint Ventures oder Options Agreements oder sonst irgendwas, was natürlich für uns sehr vorteilhaft ist, weil ein Newsflow damit generiert wird und dementsprechend auch den Wert des Unternehmens hebt. Also schaut so aus, dass Sie zur rechten Zeit am richtigen Platz sind und dass sie auch anfangen, Gold zu produzieren zur richtigen Zeit, wo der Markt richtig abhebt. Wenn man bei 1500 Gold und wenn man mit 900 produziert, dann macht es bei, auch wenn man nur 1800 Unzen pro Monat produziert, richtig schönes Geld, was man da überbleibt, das man dann in die Exploration des großen Elefanten stecken kann. Also von daher war ein schönes Update, bin gespannt, ob wir nächstes Jahr um diese Zeit auch dann schon wirklich in Produktion sind und dort richtig der Cash klingelt, der Geldbeutel klingelt, das wird dann eine ganz spannende Sache sein. Und dann ist natürlich eine ganz andere Dimension, weil dann reden wir von ganz anderen Dingen. Das war's von Ximen im Oktober 2019 Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.